Canada is a favorite pick for international students looking to get extra education. Its renowned universities, high-quality education, strong economy, and the prospect of working part-time to support their studies make it attractive. Not anymore. That's all in the past now, as students are fleeing Canada. What many don't know about this place is how fast people leave after experiencing how difficult it is to stay in a place where the struggle to survive is painful. We'll take a look at what's making Canada a nightmare for students. In the first 6 months of 2023, some around 42,000 individuals departed Canada. Most of them are students. Many students in Canada are coming to terms with the sad reality that Canada can't offer what they thought it would. This realization usually comes in such a short time after beginning their study programmers. Probably they get caught up with the idea that they're paying such low fees for tuition or none at all, and they get shocked when they see how high the cost of living is. Truthfully, tuition fees are generally less expensive than in the UK and the US, so surely it must be all rosy here. Wrong. Canadians themselves know this and are used to the disappointment living in the state comes with. But this video isn't only about the foreign students leaving Canada, it includes the home students leaving as well. Cheaper tuition or not, one expects to have a decent job after going through years and putting so much into their studies. In Canada, a primary reason why students are leaving is the non-existent jobs. Well, jobs that are suitable for an educated person. But isn't Canada known for its strong economy and surplus jobs? I mean, that's why there are lots of immigrants flocking in, right? Well, not really. Canada does have a strong economy, but things are far different from what they used to be decades ago. To be fair, there are quite a lot of jobs available. The kind where you don't need any qualifications: waiters, cleaners, drivers, and the sort. There are only a handful of people who'd settle for that life without eventually trying for something better elsewhere. Hence, you have the movement of Canadians to other countries. Most young adults are at that age where they basically fend for themselves. Add schooling to this mix and you get a pressured young adult. Schooling while fending for oneself is no easy task, especially in a place where the cost of living is high. You'll have to work with practically all your free time to afford your needs. If you're living in places like Toronto or Vancouver, you'll have to work harder, as almost everything costs significantly more than they do in other parts of Canada. If you want to go to school in Canada, it's best you check out the cost of living to allow you to get a breather. Just how much would a student need to be able to survive in Canada? Rent is the major consumer of income in Canada. The lucky students get to stay on campus where housing is quite affordable. For the rest, the price of rent is paralyzing. Residents complain all the time. What are the students to do? Students usually pay around $3,000 to $7,500 for on-campus accommodation each year. A private accommodation can cost around $8,500 upwards. Unless students have people to split the bills, that's a crazy figure for a student. Here's a breakdown of how much a student will spend on the basics. Eating out at a restaurant, around $20 per person. One-way ticket on local public transport, $3. Cinema ticket, $13, $50, because who says they're not going to have any fun? Monthly gym fee, $40 to $50 monthly payment. A student has got to be fit, you know. All of these add up to a pretty fee per month, you see? This is why the Canadian government increased the compulsory amount as part of the student visa requirement from, say, $10,000 to over, say, $20,000. And that's separate from your tuition fees and the compulsory health insurance of over $600 to $800 per year. The former minimum required amount has been the case for 2 decades, not minding the inflation terrorizing the state. Now, the government has realized that the former amount is not enough for a student to be comfortable in the harsh economy. Residents of Canada blame the high costs of living on the immigration policy of the government. Canada is known for accepting a large number of foreigners, including students. The students who come to Canada are an indirect part of the problems, it seems. Over 750,000 of them. This large number of students is causing some problems. People are saying that it is making things too expensive, and there is not enough housing to accommodate them. And this is robbing off on regular folks, as they can't do anything but watch in sadness as prices continue to shoot up right before their eyes. But hold on a minute, we can't blame the students coming in with the permission of the government. It clearly wouldn't be a problem if the government prepared adequately for the people it's letting into its land. There are 2 ways the government makes the situation worse. With massive immigration happening in Canada, the population is growing at an astronomically fast rate. The available houses are in serious competition between house seekers. This has driven the prices up. Knowing the difficulty associated with getting affordable housing, one would think the government would be all over the place and see how to get on top of the housing crisis. We don't see the urgency in their actions. Building codes, permits, and regulations are still as strict as ever. Developers are required to build higher quality, more energy-efficient buildings. This has increased the cost of construction, which is passed on to consumers in the form of higher prices. As housing prices go up, so do every other thing. Labor costs also add to building costs. Add all these factors together, and you get really pricey houses at the end of the day. Many immigrants say that if it weren't for the high housing costs, then they wouldn't be leaving. To know the severity of the situation, about 60% of household income is needed to cover home ownership costs. 60% of one's income going for rent leaves one with a miserly 40% to juggle other expenses. In a short time, a person who is in such a situation will burn out, be in so much debt, and eventually end up homeless. There is also a political aspect to the housing shortage. The government is mindful of offending homeowners who make a fortune out of the high rent prices. For most homeowners, the scarcity of homes is a welcome development, as it means they can increase rent how they like. Apparently, the government is concerned about offending them because of the voting power they possess. You can't bite the hand that votes you, no. The scarcity of well-paying jobs is also a stifling issue for students, and there is an uncanny reason why there aren't a lot of well-paying jobs. I'll share. There are too many people and not enough good jobs to go around. This issue isn't peculiar to students, but permanent residents and others with temporary visas are thrown into this unfortunate state. Experts are saying that if Canada doesn't slow down on letting so many people in without adequate support measures in place, it isn't going to end well for citizens and non-citizens alike. As we can see, the inflation isn't peculiar to anyone. We all shop in the same market, and high prices affect everyone. Everyone can agree, though, that if anyone will have it worse, it'll be the students. International students have it worse with securing full-time employment. Even part-time job opportunities have become hard to get. These all combine to make it difficult for them to cover their regular expenses. Canada has a strong economy with the capacity to become stronger, yet it has an unemployment problem. Why? Canada has a fear of foreigners dominating its industry. That's why they have so few companies that are set up by foreign investors. Canada protects and empowers its own to be basically the sole manufacturers and providers of products and services, leaving little space for outsiders for fear of competition and dominance. Of course, we see the negative effects of monopolies and how it affects the prices of stuff. More importantly, how it doesn't promote the availability of jobs. There are Canadians who support the reduced influence of foreign investors because they believe that they contribute to the high cost of housing. Investors from countries like China and the United States have been buying up properties in major cities, driving up prices, and locals are not happy about it. Others claim that they have helped boost the economy. Well, whatever the actual case is, it is clear that the once promising dream of studying in Canada for international students is no longer what it used to be. The high cost of living, scarcity of job opportunities, and financial hardships are forcing more and more students out of Canada. If this continues, it won't be long before Canada goes to the top of the list of countries to avoid when thinking of studying abroad.